the retro reverse jerseys or the reverse retro, whatever they're called, in the NHL. Likes, dislikes. Did anybody knock it out of the park in your estimation? And who flunked this test?
I got the Leaf one right here. They sent a few to Tim and I. So
you got them?
What? I got Leafs. Oh, cool. It's more for the show, but who knows when we're going back, so I will claim them for this moment. They sent me Oilers, Canucks. The Canucks is not good.
No.
And I got the Leafs here. Tim has the Habs one's really nice. Yeah. But I got the Leafs one. Right.
Oh, that's what it looks like. Okay.
A little bit better.
It's better in person than it looked online,
right?
If I'm being honest.
It didn't look good. It looks better on this feed than it looks online.
Yeah. Let me move the mic. Like, it looks good. It looks solid.
Huh.
I'll stand by where I put it in the rankings. Out of the Canadian teams, I have it 5th.
What do you have below it?
The Canucks.
Have Jets above this? You have Jets above that jersey?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I have Jets below.
Hey, guys, let's make it gray. Great idea.
It's gray.
Good meeting.
The only thing I would change about my ranking is I had Jets last. No, Jets is 6th. The Canucks one. The Jets one is boring. The Canucks one is objectively ugly. Like,
they should have gone 9th.
Really good.
I don't understand
the
why they
Habs
did
one's
9th.
wrecked. That's a
nice
jersey.
That's
I had the Habs 4th. I don't know. It works. It works really well.
It works really well.
Yeah.
It's a great.
It gives off the sweater vibe.
Yes.
Like the poem.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
What a good way
The
of putting
sweater.
it.
Yeah.
Or as I say there, le sweater. As they say.
Very good. Sid's French corner. I like this.
Yeah. No. It's funny. The Flames knocking it out of the park. I thought with the horse. You didn't like that? Oh, that's my
Locally, I know it's big. I never took to that logo.
Really?
I never took to that logo, but it's doing well. God bless them. They know the market better than I in Calgary. But
if they didn't go retro with their normal, because their normal jersey is basically retro now. Like they went back to, if they hadn't have done that, it would have been that flaming sea that everyone loves. But they kind of went the other way. So there's the one you're talking.
People in Calgary love it, man. I'm not going to fight them on it.
I like
they
Blasty.
love it. I never took to it. The Oilers one is just all white. I like the Oilers one too, actually.
It's clean.
The Detroit one didn't make sense to me. I know we're going Canadian here, but that looks okay. That's not bad. It's not bad.
That one's good.
The Habs one is better.
The Nordiques one, even though it's a slap in the face to Quebec City, won. Like, we all know that's
number
the best
one
jersey. The Colorado jersey is I like the Los Angeles Kings old school too.
Yeah,
Kings is very
really cool.
But I thought Colorado knocked it out of the park, but they knocked it out of the park by ripping off a classic logo that every Canadian is yearning for. And maybe with the global pandemic forcing some of the teams that we all know don't really care about hockey but are still in the league to maybe sell a team to a place like Quebec City. But we can
do you think that's going to happen, guys? Like, I know crazier things have happened. Like, the idea that Winnipeg could have a team was insane until they got one. And obviously they're owned by, I think, the 50th richest family in the world, partially. So, it doesn't matter if they make any money. But, when it comes to Quebec City, Jeremy Jacobs has been on the record and said, like, it's a challenge to make money there. Are there owners that are rich enough to set $20-30 million on fire every year to have a team in Quebec City?
Well, let me put it this way. And Tim, I'm interested in your take. If you're Rogers and you already paid $5 billion for this deal, and when this deal comes up, whether you're TSN or you're Rogers or hell, DAZN, I don't know who else would be in on that.
And maybe the
If you were to add the score
podcast,
the Dangle podcast, the Dangle podcast gets the Wednesday evening game from Anaheim every week. You guys pay for that one.
I'll watch that. All right. Surfing.
There you go. That's ice surfing you'll watch.
Ice surfing. I call it.
But if you're a Canadian, that's McCallum's bread and butter. The court surfing.
Ice surfing was an original idea.
Ice, no, true story. Ice surfing started at the Score Television Network for like a night, and when other rights holders realized this, they're like, "You need to stop this immediately." And they did. Steve Cooley was doing a great job with it. It was going to be a great show, and they couldn't. It's like the heavy hitters said, "Listen, we draw the line at post game Pat Quinn news conferences. That's it. That's all you guys can have." Because it was a great idea, concept. Gord Stellick was on the panel. Tim, who was it? It was Stellick and was Ledsy on the panel?
Yeah, no, I think it was mainly Coolius and Stellick to start off.
It was a great. It was. Sorry,
they poo-pooed the idea, and I got my big break because they needed basketball in ice surfing. so they would throw to Tim McAuliffe, still with somewhat almost a full head of hair, almost.
And if that didn't work, they were going to give me cricket surfing. I was going to do that shit.
Couldn't get diamond surfing.
Or surfing.
No, or just surfing, period. But if you, my point is, if you add an 8th Canadian team, what is that contract worth in Canada?
Ooh.
Whether it's moving the team, as Tim suggested earlier this week, expansion. I was on the expansion tip. I don't know if it's going to happen. But if you add an 8th Canadian team to that contract, considering the next 4 years, no one's going to make money.
Yep.
Like, what's that worth? I think it's worth a lot.
Here's my take on this, and this is, I think that's a play. But how did Winnipeg get there? There was a market that didn't really love hockey at all, and they were burning money, and someone said, "We'll burn the money for you." And Gary Bettman had to go kicking and screaming to Winnipeg I'll never forget that press conference. Do you remember that, Sid? When Gary Bettman showed up.
I've never seen Gary Bettman want to have a press conference less in my life.
Really?
He did not want to go there and admit that he was wrong about the market of Winnipeg. Now, different financials, and it was a different scenario, but he was not he basically said in the press conference, that thing better be full every night. He essentially said that.
Yeah,
so we're going back to win. Yeah, he didn't say it like Eddie Ochik did. He said, we're going back to Winnipeg. No, it didn't have that energy. It was, we're going back to Winnipeg, but if I see half the upper bowl empty, I'm yanking it. Tim's right. Watch it. It's one of the infamous Gary Bettman media veils in history.
It's unbelievable. But my point about all this is that there are people that are willing to burn money for sports teams, and for hockey, the only place that is more willing to burn money for hockey is Canada. Right? Like, it's not, name your market. I don't want to name a team and piss them off by saying it here, but think of every market that really doesn't love hockey. Like, are those owners willing in this global pandemic where it feels like, we're talking about now 13% more coming off of the player, like, there is going to be lost money. And in all the chaos, there is opportunity. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of those markets, one of those owners goes, what are we doing here? Like, we thought we were going to make money on this thing. We're going to lose money on hockey. No, I'm not doing that. And they just might sell the team to somewhere where they'll say, like you said, can we lose a little bit of money? Do we have, I don't know, TVA? Do they own a piece of that building there? Would that help them? Do they own rights? Check. So, I mean, I think it's way out there right now. But once you start doing the math on some of this stuff, it doesn't seem that far out there.